For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
NewsSpin is the best. Listen up. NewsSpin is the best. Me say listen up massive. NewsSpin is the best, yeah. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show. All across the world. Check your signal, it blaze up the airwave. NewsSpin on your radio, hear me now. Tune in the frequency, come along, Junior. NewsSpin a vice up the play. NewsSpin is the best. Listen to the massive. NewsSpin is the best. Knowledge must abound. NewsSpin is the best. And say more knock a play well. NewsSpin is the best. Papa Bond, yeah, by team, all man. A crappy land, all across the globe. Echoes of voices, we join in hands in hands. Harmony rising with the afternoon sun. Come along, NewsSpin has begun. NewsSpin is the best. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show in the world. The true facts about Sophia volcano, Sandy Beach, banana and Sneem Malmo. Voices from the chat room, the capital Castries Hills. We feel you on Caribbean breeze. Teaching the truth, making hearts feel ease. Knowledge must open up every mind. Learn about your island home. We leave no one behind. NewsSpin on your radio. Pull up the volume, Jay. NewsSpin on your radio. Pull up your seats. Afternoon time. NewsSpin on your radio. Come along. NewsSpin on your radio. Let the message strong.
So good afternoon to everyone, including the Marcos. Yes, the Marcos.
Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. And we are on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. As always, don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. We're going up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll also be taking your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Jante going through your comments in the chat rooms, and she'll be providing us with some updates. Well, what should be some of the NewsSpin stories? Some people have made a few suggestions. The government has delayed reporting the CIP. Why is the CIP report late? Please invite a caller who explained the other day to call and explain how CIP figures are recorded within each fiscal year and how such delays can affect the accurate reporting of total revenue generated by the government. And maybe that gentleman, if he is listening to the broadcast, he can call and please provide his expertise to us. Somebody says that another homicide last evening. Well, according to information received from the police at about 9:17 p.m. on Monday, police responded to a shooting at La Panse in Castries. One male reportedly shot multiple times, and he was pronounced dead on the scene. Also, reports of a suspicious death, lifeless body found on Canals Beach at about 9:30 a.m. yesterday. That of a decomposed male, and appeared to have lacerations about the body. Continuing with this, your suggestions regarding NewsSpin stories for today. Somebody says there, when are those healthcare workers going to be made permanent as promised by the SLP government if they won the elections? And finally, somebody says, shifts in St. Lucia's political terrain, comparing the political personalities of George Odlum and Dr. Kenny Anthony. Thank you so much for your many suggestions. We heard from the island's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for tourism, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, yesterday, comments he made during the pre-cabinet press briefing. Among other things, it did issue an apology, or said that the people of St. Lucia, they are deserving of an apology because of the fence that was erected on the section of the beach at Raidry. And he also said that the developers who erected that fence there, they are owed an apology because, after all, they are trying to rehabilitate facilities there and put new facilities there as well. And in the process of doing so, they had to block off a section of the beach for safety reasons, among other things. And he also derided the individual who removed part of the fence. And that, of course, is Marcellus Backsteed. So let's listen to the statement, the reaction that was given by Dr. Ernest Hilaire yesterday surrounding that particular issue.
The first thing I want to do is to actually apologize to the public and to the developer for what happened. I think the public deserves an apology. And I think the developer also deserves an apology. Because the simple truth is that our agencies failed on this occasion to really perform some of their basic functions. And let me give you the background. Some of you would have known some of the issues. The developer was asked by Invest St. Lucia to develop a beach park for the public, for St. Lucians going to the beach, because there had been so many complaints about a hotel, a resort being developed there, and it's a beach that St. Lucians frequent, and now it's a special place, whatnot. But it was a place where there are no public facilities. There are no proper vending facilities. And we said to the developer that if you're going to build $1 billion resort there, your guests will be coming and use that same beach. But look at the state of the beach. no toilets, no showers, no lifeguard, no vending facilities, that we needed it upgraded. And the developer agreed at his cost, at the developer's cost, to build a beach park as well as do beach improvement works. That was the agreement. The beach park has been completed and handed over to us. So we're now customizing it for the purposes of bringing in vendors and the public to start using it. The children's park was also added to it. The final part is the beach improvement works. That's the final part. The developer needs to open their resort in the next few weeks, so they really need to move on with the works that has to be done. On our side, the agencies need to make sure that Marie Shack that was being moved is now supposed to move into the beach park, the new beach park facility, where she has a dedicated space in there. To undertake the beach improvement works, it will be heavy equipment, it will be sand, it will be, there's a lot that be going on. The developer has to protect the public. You don't want anybody going there to get injured, to get any mishap. So there has to be a level of protection offered. It is the responsibility of the NCA and Invest in this case to let the public know that the beach will be closed for 2 weeks for beach improvement works. They ought to do it. They're supposed to do it. And they were told to do it. So they're supposed to ensure that all the necessary public education is done. Of course, the developer puts up the fence, put in construction, safety, some signs, whatnot. Now, there are people, I first got a call from a member of the public, a friend of mine who told me if I knew about this, and they were obviously upset about it. I made some calls, and I explained this is for 2 weeks, and it is to do beach improvement works, and for the safety of the public, the fence has to be erected so people do not go onto that side and get affected, but they can use the other part of the beach. Still, the agencies have to make the announcements and let people know. But of course, then, one individual goes there, sees what has happened, makes a reel, broadcasts it. I call him, I say, let me just explain to you what's happening. This is the case, this is for a period of time, this is what goes, just like I explained to you. Explain everything to him. And he decided, nah, I'm taking down that fence. I said, boss, do not take down the fence. It's there for 2 weeks. It's to protect the public. No, you're going to take down the fence. I said, you can't do that. It's for 2 weeks. It's just to do the beach improvement works. So I explained everything to him. I asked the agency responsible to call him and explain to him, which they did. And he still decides, and he puts up another reel showing that he used a wire cutter and he cut the fence and removed it. Now, why would you do that? You cannot say you did not know, because I know I gave you an explanation. I know one of the agencies explained to you that it is to facilitate beach improvement works. But you insist you do not want a fence there, so you're going to cut it down. Now, and the end, the public says the nastiest things about the developer, accuses the developer of all sorts of mishaps and misdeeds, which is not fair to the developer, because the developer is at their expense improving the beach, built a beach park for our purposes that we made a request for. And I don't want to comment as to the individual, because I'm waiting this week for him to go to the Halls of Justice and tear down all the hoarding that's there. Because the road is usually closed, so traffic cannot pass there. Maybe he should take out the road signs and tell the vehicles. And I hope he can come to the waterfront and tear down all the hoarding that is there and tell people to walk on the waterfront because they are accustomed to it. The simple point is, I'm trying to make, is that, look, there are instances where construction works will take place and you have to put in the precautionary and the necessary, requirements for health and safety. You're supposed to do that. That's a requirement. Now, I understand if the public is not informed, everybody has a legitimate right to complain and say, why was the public not informed? And you're right in doing so. You're right in doing so. And I am prepared to accept that the agencies failed in that regard. They should have put out public announcements to indicate that the beach will be closed and for how long and why. They should have done so. So we have to apologize to the public that we inconvenience. But I cannot, under any circumstances, accept that the behavior of that individual was acceptable. And especially when I explained to him, I know he was also informed by one of the agencies why this was happening. And I don't have to tell you anymore. I mean, we cannot encourage that kind of behavior. But Yellow knows what motivates him.
We just heard there from the island's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for tourism, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, speaking yesterday during that pre-cabinet press briefing. A number of things that are wrong with this. Number one, I believe that those developers and people who have or are constructing developments, hotels, what have you, close to our beaches in St. Lucia, they have grown accustomed to having their way. So, setting up a barrier, setting up a fence, and they know that nothing will come out of it because there is this tendency for government ministers to jump to their rescue and to even apologize to them. Because if you listened to the tourism minister, the whole tenor of his argument, the whole focus and the emphasis was on the good deeds of the developer. And he spent little time on the inconvenience being posed to those people who are going to the beach, beachgoers. So that's the focus. Primarily the developer. In this part of the world, I think it is so difficult being a government minister who also feels comfortable in defending the rights of citizens. It's as if government ministers are beholden to developers. For whatever reason, it appears that a developer has more rights than a citizen. And the minister ought to put particular sway or emphasis on the fact that those agencies, and he blamed the agencies, and it's very easy to say, Invest St. Lucia, very easy to say the National Conservation Authority did not put up the proper signage to indicate that the beach was being blocked on a temporary basis to accommodate work that is being carried out, without identifying who are those individuals who are manning those agencies and who have the responsibility to do such, which is the responsibility to set up the signage. So you just quickly say, invest St. Lucia. Don't blame anybody, but invest St. Lucia as an entity. You just blame NCA, National Conservation Authority. NCA, an inanimate object, just there. It was its responsibility and it failed. The point is, for too long, whether it's UWP that's in office or SLP that is in office, you have been taking the people for a ride. It has been the norm to just decide you're going to block the beach, and to hell with regard to how the people feel about it. And Bax has set a precedent in that don't block the beach without informing the St. Lucian public why you are blocking the beach. I mean, you have so many PR people in the office of the Prime Minister. You have so many SLP, PR people who take it upon themselves to, in record time, a few hours, issue a press release because a talk show host says something that they believe is so catastrophic, will have such a detrimental impact on the people of this country that they must write a press release and make reference to that particular talk show host. But those same people cannot issue a press release, cannot prepare a public service announcement, a notice via social media to say to beachgoers, don't fret, don't worry, don't lose sleep over this. The beach is being blocked for 2 weeks so that we can do A, B, and Z. Was Backsteed wrong for removing part of the fence? Was he wrong for removing part of the fence? Because in St. Lucia, all of a sudden it appears that it is sufficient. Just call a talk show and complain. It is sufficient to call on the authorities to do certain things on your behalf as a citizen. They ignore you and you move on, and that's it. He has set a precedent, at least where access to our beaches is concerned. Because for a long time, for an eternity, we have been complaining about this. Obviously, there's need for a different approach. Obviously, there's need for a different approach. People are setting up pillars on our beach. They're not removed. A government would just issue a press release. The DCA would issue a press release. And that's it. Let's just quickly move on. So, I am sure that any developer who is thinking about erecting a fence on any beach in St. Lucia will think twice going forward. That's what I'm hoping. Let us listen as well to Dr. Ernest Hilaire on another matter. It has to do with the Water and Sewage Company, an attempt that were made by a previous St. Lucia Labour Party administration under then Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony to statutarize WASCO.
And if some of you would recall, as far back as Kenny Anthony being Prime Minister, there was an attempt to statutarize WASCO, to be able to allow WASCO to bring in private sector financing to meet its needs. And it was vigorously opposed by the United Workers' Party. And that, in a sense, stalled some of the progress that had to be made. And if some of you would recall, as far back as Kenny Anthony being Prime Minister, there was an attempt to statutarize WASCO, to be able to allow WASCO to bring in private sector financing to meet its needs. And it was vigorously opposed by the United Workers' Party. And that, in a sense, stalled some of the progress that had to be made.
So let me put this into its proper perspective. This might have happened during the first term of the SLP administration under Dr. Kenny Anthony, I think sometime between 1997 and 2001. It was not, and let's put it in its proper context, because just recently the Prime Minister was lecturing young reporters saying that they need history lessons, what has happened in St. Lucia, so that they could dispel the disinformation and the misinformation taking place in our country. What happened? Then we had a very active NGO community in St. Lucia. Very, very, very active. And most of the institutions, the various NGO entities, they raised the alarm. They said that you cannot privatize water. You just cannot. It will not be accepted. Even the National Consumers Association lent its voice to this as well. I think that is what, in the main, not any opposition, because then would have been just 16-1, just after the 1997 general election. Not any kind of political party that would have discouraged the then SLP administration against privatizing the Water and Sewage Company. As a matter of fact, it was corporatized And the government of St. Lucia, as is the case right now, decided to take all the shares. So it is fully owned as a corporatized entity, fully owned, wholly owned by the government of St. Lucia. So it was not a UWP issue per se. It's not because the UWP raised the alarm and demonstrated. That's because of an active civil society in St. Lucia that resulted in Wasco not being privatized. Just thought I would set the record straight. We're providing you a Supplegen update right now. Though many of you love Supplegen. I love Supplegen as well. And there's a particular young man quenches his thirst through Supplegen. Free advertisement there for the agents and distributors of that nutritious drink. The young man was at the center of that brawl with the security guard a few weeks ago, remember? Walked into a supermarket, and we'll keep the Supplegen overlay on. Walked in the supermarket, took a Supplegen, drank it, did not pay for it. My information is his father went to the supermarket in question and paid. I think the last time I purchased a Supplegen drink, it was a little over $3, close to $4. So this has been taken care of by the father of that young male. Just thought I'd provide you with an update. We have more to share with you during the course of a broadcast between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Do we have an update for you? Let's see there what somebody is saying. Why would Ernest make a statement about, let's see if he will go to the Hall of Justice and Waterfront? If he really apologizing, the man keeps defending the developers. Is Ernest Hilaire, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, asking for my pit bull? That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see there if we have a few of your messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, the young man whom you were trying to help seemed to have been shot last night. You're better able to confirm that me, but that's all the talk this morning. I have no such information, but we are still trying to confirm the identity of the individual in question. Let's see there. Dr. Hilaire is sounding like Shasnin now. Tim, shouldn't there have been a billboard saying what was happening on the beach? That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we can go through some more of your messages. Please stand by. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Let's see. All that story Hilaire giving there had to do was inform the public than not keep things in secret. We have a call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hello, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
Fine. Timothy, I want you to try and follow me, and I want you to start thinking deep, not on the surface, deep, okay?
So you say I'm not thinking deep.
No. There is something that just came up, and I just have a strange feeling there's a bit of trickery in it. You know when they give us a sign, detour, if you go into Castries, they tell you detour, you have to go into Corinth, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to distract someone from doing something, you'll use something else, right?
Yeah.
Good. Timothy, don't let trickery take you off your focus. Focus on what you are doing. Trickery will lead you in other roads.
Like what?
Don't
Tell me.
allow trickery to fool you. Keep on your track. You have been following a certain track and you are getting where you are supposed to get.
Okay, tell me if I'm going off track, why? And give me an example.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I give you an example, I'm giving it away. But I want you to think. I want you to think deep. I want you to think deep of what I am saying there right
Caller,
now.
you have not
Okay.
you have not given me sufficient information
Okay.
for me to work with.
Okay, Timothy.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can think of it close to the surface. Timothy, you want me to know something is going on. You know that you are in error of something, but you don't want to take the responsibility. Because of that, you put a detour. That detour will cause persons to think of something else while you get off with that problem. Timothy, you focusing on something now. Focus on it, hit it on the nail, continue with it. Don't be detoured. Don't be off-railed. Don't get off track because you are being detracted. They're trying to distracted. They're trying to take you away from where you're going. Don't be fooled. Let me tell you. You see that election that just passed there? It taught me a lot. It taught me more than I should know. And right now, Timothy, I just want you to think deep. Okay, Tim?
Okay, ma'am.
Now, Timothy, there is one other thing that has been troubling me, and I hope that persons take it seriously and not necessarily as something of malice. Okay? When we go to gas stations, to get our gas. If we need anything, we go to the little mini mart and we get whatever we get. We get into our vehicles and we go. These days, I notice there is a new trend in especially one mini mart. Persons would buy their alcohol, stay there, blast music, stay around. That is a red light, and we have to be careful of that. You go to the gas station, you get your gas, you get what you have to get from the mini mart. You want to buy your alcohol, go somewhere to play your music where people will not hear you. Don't blast that music. I remember going for gas and the kinds of things coming from a certain car. I couldn't believe it. Timothy, when we don't speak on these things, it becomes the norm, and it's okay. After a while, it becomes part of living, and nobody wants to talk about it. It's not right. You go to the gas station, you get your gas, and you go home. What if there's a fight? What if there's a roro with gunshot and thing at the gas station? What do you think can happen? So please, gas stations are for you to go, collect your gas, and go home. Go get whatever you have to get at the mini mart. Go home. Don't blast music at the gas station. That's not what it's for. It's not a dance hall. Okay, Timothy, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Timothy, and remember, do not be derailed. Do not be distracted. Timothy, have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Thank you so much. All right, somebody, I guess she said to me, focus, Tim, focus. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, we have a big puzzle to fix in St. Lucia. Peace might be missing. I find every time a minister has to talk about an issue, they would refer to the past instead of telling the plans to fix the issue. Mama, we will never go forward. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another WhatsApp message, somebody says that Dr. Ele put down St. Lucian skilled workers and said they lied about being a mason, carpenter, etc. He needs to stop putting Lucians in the mud. He's talking about the white man not voting him in. What money? Okay, let him go and apologize. He is the cause. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there's another loan for the 4-lane highway from the government. Where the loan from Stevenson King, he left the country to sign. And some more messages. Tim want to know when the hospital and the VA4 going to open. It's like everyone forgot about it. Guess election finish is not important again. Let's see if I have a call in the landline. In the meantime, we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says, according to PJP, the decision to import water from Dominica didn't originate from the government. This raises questions about his involvement in the process and who is ultimately responsible for covering the costs. Well, the private sector, especially the hospitality sector, said that they are the ones who is footing the bill for the importation of water from Dominica. But I dare say, It is as a result of negligence on the part of the authorities in St. Lucia that now we have to import water from Dominica. And that for me is a huge embarrassment. Sure that some of you would have driven along the road there at, in the Otsa area over the weekend. I was there on Saturday, and I saw that water was being wasted from Owasco, Maine, on the road. Hours upon hours, water was gushing out, was being wasted. Where was Wasco to stop it, to deal with that particular problem? And Wasco has wasted water over several decades now. Never mind the reality of the aging infrastructure, among other problems. This current administration has been talking about whatever the previous administration did not do with regard to the silting the John Compton Dam. You are into year 5. You had one term, about 4 years. You're so in a hurry, you call the elections ahead of schedule. Now you've given a second bite at the cherry, and you take absolutely no responsibility for the water shortage in St. Lucia, and for the fact that the desilting of the dam did not continue when you got into office in 2021. 5 years now, and we still want to make reference to the previous administration and how it handled or mishandled the dam desilting project. And if there's any corruption, because that is the approach that is being taken by politicians. Whenever they try something and it works, they continue. It gets stale, but they still continue because it works. Why should I hear from any government minister right now that the previous administration was involved in bobble as far as the desilting of the John Compton Dam, without the administration saying to me, to other people in St. Lucia, this is how we will deal with them for that bobble of several $1 million, because we have mechanisms, we have procedures in place to deal with bobble in St. Lucia. Deal with it. If you know the culprits, Tom, Jerry, Isaac, Trevor, Peter, and they're all from the UWP, and they all served in the previous United Workers' Party administration, and you have a special prosecutor, please stop whining. Stop going to Parliament and talking about what report you have and waving documents. We are interested in results. Please, you have the evidence, deal with it, but stop politicizing those things. Stop putting the people of St. Lucia against politicians because of mischaracterization without you utilizing the evidence that you have in your possession, and without utilizing the power that you have at your disposal to deal effectively with whatever shortcomings that you are highlighting. Either you deal with them or you keep quiet. Two things. But to do otherwise is to be mischievous, is to waste people's time by saying the UWP did this and how they mismanaged the funds and how this thing was earmarked to cost 50-something million. It ended up costing $60-something million. It's the taxpayers' money. You are in government. You are in the seat of power. Deal with it. Arrest a few of those people. Hold them before the courts. Have them pay a price. Penalize them. Send them to prison, etc. But anything short of that, honestly, don't repeat it. And it ought not to work on the people of St. Lucia. It ought not to be politics as usual, and people tell you, man, that's politics. No, we don't want it so, because we want results. if there's any corruption, mismanagement of our funds, let's try to get those funds. Let us try to penalize those people. And I think that's a message that, to a certain extent, Backsteed is sending to the people of this country. Let's stop complaining about the beaches being blocked. There's a fence, remove the fence. So you, as government, deal with that corruption you're talking about. Stop just attaching a particular label to some of those individuals who were served in the previous administration, accusing them of corruption, and you do nothing about them. Just besmirching the character without utilizing the evidence to prove to the St. Lucian public that those people are culpable. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Shanti. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, "Poor excuse, Ernest. We deserve an apology for losing our visa-free access to the UK. We do not want to lose visa-free access to our beaches too. No apology. The developer should be the one apologizing for putting up the fence. Period. Give him the info so that he can stay on course, ma'am. Do you mean the visa requirements?" Another YouTube comment reading, "You see how Healer is throwing everyone under the bus except himself? SLPs are hypocrites. If the UWP was in power, all their supporters would be singing, 'Jack, Beach is mine.'" Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, "Our government spent over 4 years focusing mainly on the opposition leader, while our water dam went down and the rivers ran dry. And he still forgot somehow that he is now the former government. Tim, that's why the report is delayed, because nothing honest is coming on with the CIP. You see how the government fooled the caregivers into voting?" We have another comment here saying, "Trying to fool the fools. Apologies are comfort to fools. Back's right, take it down. He can do that. It is his right." We have a few comments reading, "One thing Ernest will do is protect the foreigners/investors over Lucians. A public announcement should have been made. Is this a press conference or a conversation with friends? Wow, highly unprofessional." We have a few more comments here reading, "Apologies my foot. If the government were doing things the right way, everybody would have known the reason for the fence being put up. But all they do is under the table jobs. Those developers only hotels they choose to build and take over our beaches. What about factories? Bax was not wrong. He is only guilty to those whose patriotism is for sale." Another comment on our Facebook page reads, "They didn't have to go down to the water. They could have fenced but allowed the people access to the beach front. Always blaming someone else and not accepting responsibility when you guys are in office now. So do your jobs. We as a people allow those politricans to gas us into believing their lies." We have another comment saying, "Excuses and more excuses, that's what the administration is." His father just started paying for his criminal behavior. The father should not have paid for the drink. He should have arranged for the young man to work it off to pay it. Another comment here saying, "UWP could stop the government from privatizing Wasco, but yet could not stop them from selling our passports to make your money. You think you can play on our minds? Don't let monkeys be smarter than you. Think deep, team. Upakatsan." We have another comment saying, "The father has set a bad precedent for his son. He ought to be held responsible for his actions. First he used the perfume indiscriminately, now taking a drink without paying, and is now being paid by his father. What next? Does he want attention? Tim, don't think too deep before you drown your brain." Another commenter saying, "Tim, it's not just Wasco. It's our culture to cut trees in critical areas, causing our rivers to go dry. No bylaws to protect our resources. Tom, Dick, Harry, and Richard. They have absolutely no evidence, hence why they can't do anything." Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Shanti. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says, good afternoon, Tim. I find it rather ridiculous how the Prime Minister said that junior journalist needs a history lesson when social media influencer 10 out of 10 rather turned the office of Prime Minister appointee feels she is qualified to bisect press conferences delivered by the Prime Minister when she's actually spreading political infused misinformation. I wonder if she's country bookie economist, the Prime Minister should pay a simple microeconomic course for her instead. Let's see if you have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon.
All right, Tim. I have 4 fast ones for you, Tim. 4 fast balls. The COP's contract. That was your question yesterday. I heard nobody touch that subject, boy. That's a hot potato. I've been telling you about the commissioner, the executive of the force, Tim. But I see you make very little reference to that. At least nobody's saying anything. Everybody afraid. Let me go a little further. Tim, I believe, based on your question yesterday,
Caller, you still there?
acting commissioner.
Yeah, caller, you'll have to repeat. You'll have to repeat. You broke up for a while. You say you believe?
Based on your question, I believe Wayne Shalry should be appointed commissioner of police and not Philip. Because he's more senior and I believe he has more experience.
It's not what you believe. Is that what it works? Is that standard practice?
Tim, but of course, Tim, you see, when the executive have people acting, well, deputizing for the substantive rank, for the supervisor, and then you don't make that next the deputy the successor, you create a problem. That's what everybody aspiring for, you know, Tim. So how will you tell a corporal he don't want to be a sergeant? How will you tell a sergeant he don't want to be an inspector? How will you tell a deputy commissioner he cannot be a commissioner? And you bring in new people from superintendent to SCP to DCP, while the same man is the deputy and he cannot be commissioner. That making sense, Tim? But anyway, I have more juice for you from that, but let us go on. Tim, we're going into past the fourth commissioner, and no reference has been made to the proposal for the Halls of Justice. The difference between the UWP Hall of Justice and this new Hall of Justice is about 1.5 times the cost of the first one. And it does not include police barracks and police accommodation. So we're getting less for more. Why do you think, Tim, why do you think no member of the executive and 4 commissioners, Mr. Moncherry, Mr. Daisy, Ms. Pelius, and Mr. Gad, none of them have spoken about that? Why do you think so? You know why? They are intimidated by this government. They are intimidated by the SLP team, whether it's in opposition or whether in government. Now you'll tell me how I know that. I tell you based on what I make in my judgment, you know, Tim. I've told you based on what I'm making my conclusions on. But let's go back. I'm surprised, Tim, that Bax have not been arrested. And the only reason I can figure Bax has not been arrested by the police is because they have not been instructed to arrest him. You'll ask me how I say that again. Bax is an SLP. But if a UWP, let us say Spider, he called you yesterday. You think if Spider was the one who went there and cut the people fence, Spider would not be arrested, Tim? I just asking you that question.
No, I don't know. I don't know if he would be arrested.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I cannot just make that assumption based on party affiliation. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't have a crystal ball.
Let me tell you. Spider is listening.
Maybe you should try it and then we'll know. Caller, maybe you should try it. Caller, maybe you should try it and then we'll know.
I know. Tim, I know. You want him to get arrested first?
No. Try it and then we'll know.
Tim, you know, right? You know. But I know you won't answer. Spider is listening and he's laughing. If Spider did that, if Prudent did that, that is a big case. Even High Court that reaching under this administration. But finally, Tim, although I have more, you know, but I'll drop the line. Finally,
as a former veteran police officer, you think, as far as the law is concerned, he can be arrested?
What Bax did there?
Yeah.
Tim, you don't know what Mr. Ile said there.
Don't forget Mr. Ile. I'm asking you a question, not Mr. Ile. I'm asking you a question as far as the law is concerned.
Yeah.
He should be.
Under the law, as far as the law goes there, the criminal code, Bax destroyed property.
Yeah.
So that's damaged property. It doesn't matter who it belongs to, that's damaged property. Now Bax is listening, but Bax, I have told you, you have heard me say, the only reason I believe that you have not been arrested is because you're an SLP in disguise. All right, but let's go to Mr. Pierre. Last point, because I don't want to hold your line. Mr. Pierre said the young reporters are
they need history lessons. They need history lessons.
They need history.
Yeah, history lessons.
Not only young officers, not only young reporters, young police officers, young people in general. Anybody that don't know about the history of the Labour Party. Tim, do you remember? It has been said, I think it was on your program, during the 1979 Plywood City scenario, Labour Party had won the 1979 election, and they caused Plywood City. That's a known fact. Everybody knows that. All SLP people know that. Do you know, or can you recall, Mr. Cyril saying that the police SSU people were given instructions to go back to the barracks while SLP was destroying the city?
I remember Mr. Cyril saying that, yes.
Right. Now, I know that because I have a brother who was in the force at that time, during that period, and he can confirm that. So I'm not just speaking from my personal experience, Tim. That's why I tell you, don't challenge me when I tell you something. Who was in charge of the SSU?
Wasn't it
Mr. Carrasco?
Rickren's brother.
Rickren's brother. Right. Who gave him the instructions?
That I don't know.
Because he was Labour. He was Labour. So you see how far back the Labour have been influencing the police action? So I think it's a joke when I tell you what I'm telling you. 1979, Tim, was 47 years ago. Nothing has changed. That's why I tell you, Bax, if Bax was a different person, Bax get locked up the same morning. He did that. So don't doubt me when I tell you things, Tim. Don't doubt me. I know what I'm telling you. Now, I will free up the line, and I want Spider to call, and I want Mr. Prudent to call if they are listening, and I want Bax to challenge me on what I say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We'll continue with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages in just a moment.
What happens when the music is stripped down to the truth? On April 29th, First National Bank presents the Teddyson John Experience at the luxurious Royalton Resorts. Raw vocals, live music, real emotion, an intimate night where Teddyson John opens the heart of the music. Also Also from Trinidad and Tobago, featuring Nyla Blackman. From St. Lucia, Michael Robinson.
I'm gonna make you mine.
Herb Black.
I'm so sorry.
Umpa.
That's one thing you know.
And Ricky T. Sharing their stories behind the songs and connects with you up close. This is more than a concert. It's a feeling. Stripped, April 29th. Royalton Resorts, limited seats. One unforgettable night. It's definitely my type of night and my type of vibes.
Tickets for this event are $100 USD. Food and drinks inclusive. Ticket locations: Anthony's Jewelry, Castries and Baywalk, The Wave, and online fourcirclestickets.com.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with loose select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit lucelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
So fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So fast pay, so fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
At Caribbean Pastuche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastuche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastuche Limited is located in Bexon, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastuche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
because I spoke against your godfathers, some of you are in the comments section throwing jabs like chickens fighting over a single grain. Some say I state problems without solutions. Some call me politician. Some even call me pig. Welcome to the circus. These political tugs are like trees planted in dry season, celebrating every drop of water as if it is the ocean. They never know there is a season called raining season, when water flows like rivers and everyone drinks without fighting. The moment you are given a peanut, you act like the world is ending and start fighting those who speak the truth. You become a television without a remote, everyone watching, nobody controlling, chaos everywhere, and the show never ends.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. We have a call via WhatsApp. I think we lost that call, but continue to call us once again at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. And let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. Tim, the news about the stabbing incident in Domel, the person was found dead. He was never rushed to hospital. I want that to be looked into because it's a particular funeral home that came to pick up the body on Sunday morning. And let us see if we have another WhatsApp message. National Workers Union, what's going on with the Guardsmen St. Lucia negotiations after so many years? So over to the National Workers Union. I know that you guys are very effective, proactive. I was hoping that you'll issue a press release on this one because somebody's asking again. NWU, what's going on with the Guardsmen St. Lucia negotiations after so many years? A call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air. This is NewsSpin.
Hello. Bon après-midi.
Oui. Bon après-midi.
Bon. Oui. Ça me plaît de Papa, on va tout le monde qui t'a écouté. Nous, en cette liste, comme toujours dit, nous pas ni un côté qu'à joindre pour nous exporter au l'autre pays. So, ça nous a fait un pays, nous a fait 6 pour nous vivre. Bon, nous supporter au gouvernement 14 sites. Avec nous, par opposition, c'est d'avoir qui nous sommes totalement pas d'accord avec l'opposition de l'opposition, comme ça nous voter au gouvernement, nous avons 14 sites. Bon, nous avons anticipé, le gouvernement ça a que pour beaucoup de pays, on m'a nié ça. Nous savons, nous savons payer, nous savons pour ça aller devant, nous n'y pas chercher. Mais, là où dis-moi, ou capable un politicien, peut-être, si c'est un autre d'ailleurs qui a tué Vinjoué, nous, c'est ça. Et qu'on a passé en loi pour amasser toute machine qui bochime. Ou ka taper ces machines c'est mon nikaoulea ou d'accord yo pas en condition. Et puis ça yo ka geti la vie yo ka soin famille yo ka petit dette yo ka payer assurance yo ka payer licence yo ou taper yo pas en condition ou ka prend yo ou ka mettre yo à côté à droite. Moun ka fait ça yo vlant dedans yo ka pète machine ça là ou pas ça encore parce que machine ça saute à ballon. Ou ka acheton l'autre ou ka mette bon caillou ou ka dit OK ou ka vendre des petites pièces dedans pour sous ça compte l'argent pour manger ça au nid. Sous ça rend ça pour ou ka enfin ou ka rend là. Yo do non. Nous ka amasser ni ça wa qui pas garder bon, nous ka amasser ni ça wa acheter pour vendre des petites pièces dedans et nous ka jeter. Yo pas capable de sous-suivre pour machine ou amasser pour papier puis laisser ça de dépend pour compter pour payer des tout. Yo ka mettre yon côté avec tout monde en dedans capon. Tim là regarder c'est différents garages point depuis Gozilé, tête Gozilé pour descendre sous fouiller au Bekoto vers fort n'importe côté passer tous ces garages là. Ou pas ça ouais yon vieille machine qui fait accident. Toute machine ou ka ouais qui semblait par 1000 c'est machine qui neuf. Autant machine qui neuf, machine qui ni indicateur, machine qui ni bon lumière, machine qui ni bon machine en l'air, bon body, yo qui semblait par 1000. Ou pas ka ouais yon c'est machine yo dit qui pas garder en condition, ou pas ouais yon C'est mon petit machine le chimie qui a fait des affaires yo, licence payée, assurance payée, mais yon politicien tout qui il fait complot avec ces gens qui avance ces bonnes machines à opinion moi ça m'attend ça mais
OK mais ou pas you pas right à l'opinion ça là because l'année opinion mon kani you ka fait avec opinion pas sous fax c'est à sous qui manière you senti bon l'année d'autres machines qui ont les chimères qui pas ni bon light qui pas ni bon bricks. Ma quoi ces machines ça supposé à sous chimère pièce tout bon
mais
OK
oui moi d'accord
et c'est pas pièce loi c'est pas pièce loi pièce politicien passé pour faire ça OK c'est pas pièce loi yo passé l'autre jour ça toujours là
comment
d'accord
cervelle changer cervelle t'es fait avant homme changer ça cervelle t'es fait avant homme changer puis loin toujours ni plus qui marche là
oui
ou pas qu'à fin connaître ça qui a fait souvent ou pas qu'à fin connaître des qualités bagaille qui a fait longtemps on monde on bagaille pas tellement condamné mon tim ou moi donc comme ça moi pas d'accord pour machine sans briques sur les chimères mais ou pas qu'à jouer ces machines ça là qui fait pièce accident les chimères pièce toute machine qui fait accident c'est une machine neuf qui a courir l'autre machine neuf pièce ces machines yo ka couiller vieille machine non pas d'accord pour non pas de lumière pourquoi faire comme machine qui pas de lumière pas non là mettre lumière by machine mais pas ça pour machine on là mettre don plan
tout le monde dit ça y va un monde ça y va où
non qui pas sous voyez don plan pour machine on mettre là pour chaque monde
côté
anik alors don plan vieux fort vieux fort là bon séjour là ou pas assez machine qui pack là
so ça qui fait police quoi dit gouvernement mais police qui peut-être fait ça police du bout de monde avec machine avec juste mettre là à don plan c'est ça qu'a dit
moi donc comme ça moi d'accord avec tout ça qu'a dit là mais police pas il est vrai bon Dieu mettez la terre dans la main police moi ça comprend ça ma compte ça mais monsieur c'est pas moi donc on s'intime c'est
mais n'a donc question par rapport moi est police du bout est police du bout mon avec des machines ça pas bon il passe sur chemin
oui
ça fait
oui machine police là quand fait appeler il pas en condition pour les chemins mais ou pas jamais un accident dans la route
mais c'est
accident
oui même si ou pas faire accident si pas non pour les chemins ou pas il pas ni pour les chemins
moi d'accord que ça mais en même temps machine ni brakes machine ni lumière mais au cas d'où quoi dit machine bon 10 machines pas garder en condition
OK
pour aller sur un team tout ces bail ça me cadeau là team tu me dis ça j'en ai toujours d'eau en cette ici puis l'on pas jamais ni manche tout seul il toujours ni l'autre il toujours ni plus qui manche là avec ce pour comprendre ça bon team l'autre bail encore écoutez ça les cette ici est-ce que au bref quand même moi quand parler tellement quand tout moi quand montrer moi quand aller là pour dernier coup et là moi quand raconter cette ici qui ça qui a fait là en au bref mais moi pour là yo encore et moi quand déclarer by pays qui ça a fait ma satisfait de cet principe au bref ni pièce de cette ici quand même merci on chai nous chai pour dire mais nous passons pour ligne
OK merci beaucoup tout bon 4522979 your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026 and let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there Tim, so according to your retired officer, the beach is the property of the investor. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says there via WhatsApp, Tim, please, come explain to the people of Senusha about the CIP and what have you done with the CIP and why is the report late? Do we have to call on Galaxy for this information and stop stepping on Mr. Steed? He is a Senushan. Stop your nonsense, Hila. Remember, the beach belongs to us, St. Lucians first. Another person says, Tim, what did the Nigerian president bring to St. Lucia? that he actually got knighted for. Both airports were closed, etc. What was the reason for this? PJP, St. Lucians want to know. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Timothy Poleon, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am okay. How about you, sir?
Not too bad. I haven't called your program in some time.
Yeah. What's in the mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to reach out to highlight, you made mention of it earlier, and I think it's been featured in previous programs. The action taken by this gentleman, Marcellus Steve, known as Bax, I think we really have to not underestimate the significance of that action, particularly as it relates to citizens taking action with respect to developments within the society, perceived threats, etc. In his case, he was looking at public access. Bearing in mind there's an existing King's Chain, I think we have to refer to it now as a King's Chain, which demarcates, a area or reserve around St. Lucia for public access. And he initially observed this and placed an ultimatum, and in fact went through to take action again insofar as addressing that situation. Now, I think it's significant to note that although he identified himself as a candidate, of course, I'm not sure he was correct there because the election has in fact come and gone. He was in fact acting in his capacity as a private citizen, but he was also acting alone. I say so because, and you have heard me lament that in the past, one of our biggest weaknesses in this society is the absence of a vibrant civil society. We elect people into office, we put governments in place, and we sit back and we don't seem to recognize the importance or value of the power that we hold. There's the saying that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And I would like to see St. Lucians explore that some more. Not in a way that it is tainted by the politics, but genuine civil action. In Jamaica, in the recent months, there's a group of citizens, Rastafarians and etc. I think there's a beach called Rasta Beach. There's another name for that beach which doesn't come to mind now, in which, people have come together with the support of others and protest, certain development proposals for that, particular beach, because they thought, of course, it would be denying Jamaicans traditional access and so on. But again, my point is it was a collective. In St. Lucia, St. Lucians tend to shy away from or don't have the courage to step forward and take action to address their rights or where their rights are under threat. And so I really want
you really think so?
Well, have you seen concrete examples of solutions stepping forward?
Those people are those people, and I'm not talking about solutions in general, but those people are opportunistic. You remember the beach is mine? You remember that?
Well, I wouldn't describe that as a genuine.
Yeah, but that was St. Lucians. That was St. Lucians coming out and protesting.
That was political. That was a political action, not necessarily a genuine.
But you had a number.
Society.
You had a number. You had a number of people from the civil society atmosphere who descended on that area there and who protested. You remember when people were saying about protesting for, what was it? You had a number of organizations protesting. They came together, protesting outside Parliament. Had to do with the black movement or something of that nature. You remember?
Right.
And invaded by the politicians. So-called civil society was part of this.
Okay,
wasn't it?
I note your term, so-called civil society.
Yeah, so-called civil society.
My point that I don't know that these were genuine actions stemming from general civil society concerns. You see, civil society
I was
set
talking
up,
about Black
and we have
Lives
to
Matter.
understand those things.
Black Lives Matter people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a charade, if you ask me. I don't think that came from genuine concern. I think there were hidden political motives in these actions. Okay, civil society is designed to bring balance. Balance to government or governance, and to present concerns, genuine concerns of the citizenry. And I don't think that is what we saw demonstrated in the examples that you cited. So I really just want to underline and highlight the significance of the action, and if anything, that I think there are lessons to learn from it, and people, therefore, going forward in the future, should see the importance of them stepping forward to claim their rights, and to do it, of course, in a discreet way, in a firm way, not flaunting the laws and so on. And I think if we do that, we can see a greater respect to the citizenry, a greater spirit of consultation on the part of governments, because there are too many things that happen without the citizenry being consulted. And I move quickly to VG Beach. Of course, that one seemed to have disappeared. VG Beach means a lot to persons like myself who were born and grew up in Castries. And the nostalgia, the fact that it was a common area for recreation, of course, like many other beaches, Sandy Beach is one in the south. The beach has been defaced over the years in terms of the loss of vegetation, etc. But there was a big clamor over that proposed development. And I really want people to understand the need for them to stick on those issues and call government, to account for what is being proposed. And one is not talking about being anti-development. One is talking about having genuine consultation where the citizenry can bring to bear their concerns. For example, does that project have, in terms of the agreement, there's something called an empathetic lease, which is normally an instrument whereby these developers are granted. It's normally a 99-year lease of the beach where they have certain rights, etc. Is that the case? Because if that is the case, it may mean that there are certain limitations in which the developer can employ insofar as the development that occurs in that area. I also know that that coastal area between the particular point at VG going right around to the entrance of the harbor is, generally speaking, an area that is sort of preserved. And I know from, and I'm not a fisheries expert, from research that I have done, that it is significant in terms of fisheries. There are reef systems there, etc., and so on. So, I think we need to pay attention to those things. We're a small island, 238 square miles, and we have to be very concerned with the approach to development, and that it doesn't happen in an ad hoc way in which tomorrow we have nothing to hand over to our children. Thanks for your time.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads, what did Marcellus Backsteed do that was so wrong? What did Marcellus Backsteed do that was so wrong? The NewsSpin question of the day. Still to come, we'll have one more update from Jante and our NewsSpin news of the day right here on the most monitored talk show in the world.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastors Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand, and plastering sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastors Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastors Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
La Clinique du Corps leads the Caribbean in advanced MRI, aligned with globally recognized standards. Avoid overseas stress, delays, and cancelled scans. Reports in 24 to 48 hours. No translation, no overseas processing. Your doctor receives your imaging directly for seamless continuity of care. All major insurance accepted. Call 451-6559. Once again, 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. The WhatsApp number 721-9950.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. For the people we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
The Roadhouse experience awaits. Crave something real? Get ready to experience the ultimate destination for unforgettable memories. The Roadhouse experience. Feast your senses with exceptional service, all under one roof. From our classic restaurant and bar to our exclusive private nightclub. Unwind at our elevated hookah bar. Gather in our versatile conference room for any event, or even shop at our variety store. Ditch the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Raj Roadhouse promises real vibes, real fun. Nestled in cul-de-sac along the Bexar Highway. Call us at 286-6249 for more information.
Lucelec would like to inform customers that its automated account inquiry service at 457-4433 is temporarily unavailable. Customers are encouraged to sign up for the free Lucelec My Account online service at myaccount.lucelec.com for access to their account information, including their bill balance. Customers may also call or WhatsApp 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593 or email customer support at lucelec.com for assistance from the Lucelec Customer Service Department. Lucelec deeply regrets any inconvenience this may cause and thanks customers for their understanding and patience.
Are you a young poet with something to say? Then this is your moment. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank presents the 2026 Creative Youth Competition in Poetry, calling all secondary schools and college students from across the 8 ECCB member countries. If you're between the ages of 12 and 15 or 16 and 20 years old, this competition is for you. you. Express yourself on powerful topics like Voices of a Changing Caribbean, Becoming Me, Exploring Identity Growth and Self-Discovery, and Through My Own Eyes. Let your words inspire. Massive prizes to be won. First prize, $3,000. Second prize, $2,500. And third prize, $1,500. Entries close on March 31st, 2026. So don't wait. Start writing today. For more information, visit www.eccb-centralbank.org. The 2026 Creative Youth Competition. Your voice, your story, your future.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Somebody says Bax is SLP and could not be arrested for damaging private property. Remember that his father is a Michelle and his uncle a prominent lawyer who was once the deputy political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party and deputy prime minister. Let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, Trump says he thinks he will have the honor of taking Cuba. The NewsSpin news of the day once again, Trump says he thinks he will have the honor of taking Cuba. Final update from you, Jante. Let's find out what's happening in the chat rooms.
Starting off on YouTube, Tim Alpha's comment reads, Is St. Jude's open for business? Has the patients been transferred from the stadium? And has renovations of the stadium started, or do we need another loan to get it done? Ernest is blaming UWP for Wasco not being privatized back in 1997 when Dr. Kenny Anthony was PM. That just shows how much SLP does not want to take responsibility for anything. It might have been put up illegally, so no arrest, referring to the fence. Moving to Facebook, Alpha's comment reads, That's not a reason why Ronald Phillips should never be our police commissioner. I was about to say he made a good point, but Tim destroyed it with the letting people know argument. Tim, oh boy, we have another comment here saying, now he lost me on blaming UWP in 97 for Wasco current issues. Tim, anything can happen under this Labour government. They would have charged him for destruction of property had he been anybody else. We have a few more comments reading, Bax is an SLP and they know that. There's a law for the rich and a law for the poor in St. Lucia under this current government. They are trying to get him to win the people over now so that he can do a Frederick and King. If you didn't know, now you know. The last caller was hitting nails on the head. The truth. We have another comment here saying, St. Lucia as a whole does not appreciate history. If we did, the gravesite of Sir Derek would be well maintained throughout the year and not just before Laureate Week. Caller, our main export is Renault. Bach's father and uncle are SLP royalty, top generals in the SLP. He will not be touched. We have more comments on our Facebook page saying, we don't have reporters here. They are too afraid to ask the Prime Minister and ministers questions because they are all slow. The caller doing just like PJP. He answering the questions before Tim can even ask them. The man know what he wants to say but can't explain it to Tim on air. We have another comment saying, exactly caller. I laugh at it way. Candidate for which election and when? Caller, you were wrong on this point. The people protest when it affects them, their family, or their political affiliation. Tim, haven't you realized that the so-called civil society in St. Lucia and the SLP are one of the same? Another comment here reading, Tim, the caller is right. St. Lucia has no civil anything. Think deep. You were told that earlier by the lady. No government has given any developer a lease of the beach. Our final comment reading, call a great point, but Lucians are too backward to pay attention to anything that is happening from this wicked Labour government. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante. Well, that's the broadcast. We have to thank you now for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin YouTube channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. God willing, we'll be back same time tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. Goodbye.